Hey guys, today I brought you a tutorial for Spider-Man 2. The modding community has enabled us to use the FSR multi-frame generation method on both GTX and RTX series cards, even as far back as the GTX 700 series. This is a huge advantage for low-end and mid-range PC users because it allows them to experience smoother gameplay and higher frame rates on hardware that normally wouldn't support these features. So in this tutorial, I'll walk you through the installation process, step by step, and explain exactly how to use the mod to unlock FSR multi-frame generation in Spider-Man 2. By the end, you'll know how to maximize your GPU's potential and enjoy a much more fluid gaming experience on your older graphic card. Alright, first open your web browser and search for DLSS Enabler. Head over to the Nexus Mods website, then go to the Files tab. Scroll down until you find the DLSS Enabler 4.0.0.7 version. Click on Manual Download, then select Slow Download to start downloading. Since I already have this file, I'll cancel the download here. After that, go back again and download the DLSS Enabler 3.0.2 version. This version is actually more suitable for NVIDIA graphics cards, so I'll be using it. Again, click Manual Download and then choose Slow Download. Once both files are downloaded, the next step is to get NVIDIA Inspector. The reason we need to download NVIDIA Inspector is that if you're running an older version of Spider-Man 2, the multi-frame generation setting isn't available. That's why we use NVIDIA Inspector, because with this tool, we can manually force multi-frame generation in almost any game where the option isn't available, especially in older versions of games. However, this only works in games that already include frame generation support. To do this, search for NVIDIA Inspector on Google, go to the GitHub page, and download the pre-release version. That's all for the download process. Now we're ready to move on to installation and setup. First of all, go to the Spider-Man 2 installation folder and make a backup of the original .dll files, because it's always safer to keep the originals. Just select all the .dll files, create a new folder, and copy-paste them there. I've already done that so you can see how it looks. Next, head to your Downloads folder and double-click the DLSS Enabler.exe file. Accept the agreement, click Next, then click the Next button again to continue. Press the Browse button and choose the location for install this mod, any location you prefer. This is safe because later we'll replace these files into the game directory. Then select the version.dll file since it's the most compatible. If that doesn't work for you, try the optional WinMM.dll file. Continue by clicking Next, click Install, and once installation is complete, go to the DLSS Enabler installed folder and select all the files and copy and paste them into the Spider-Man 2 folder where the spiderman2.exe file is located. Now select the Replace files. After that, open the DLSS Enabler 4.0.0.7.zip file and drag and drop the version.dll into the same folder. Now click the Replace. After, extract the NVIDIA Inspector.zip file to your desktop or any partition you like. Create a new folder named NVIDIA Inspector and move the files there. Open the folder, double-click NVIDIA Inspector.exe and click Yes. You'll now see the NVIDIA Inspector interface. In the profile search bar, type Marvel Spider-Man 2 and select it from the list. Scroll down until you find the Comments section, and look for the setting called DLSS FG Multi-Frame Generation Count. I've already set mine to 3, and I recommend you do the same. It gives smoother performance with fewer artifacts and lower latency. Finally, click Apply, close NVIDIA Inspector, and launch Spider-Man 2. So now I'm in gameplay mode on Spider-Man 2. I'm simply pressing the Escape button to open the Graphics Settings menu. Now let's go into the settings and select Display and Graphics. You can see I'm running in exclusive full-screen mode at 1080p resolution. Scrolling down to the DLSS settings, I'm using DLSS 4.5, so I'm dialing it down to balance mode. Right away, you can see my FPS jump into the 70 range. Now you need to turn on frame generation settings, but here you actually need to select DLSS frame generation. What's really happening is that the DLSS enabler unlocks the in-game DLSS frame generation setting, but behind the scenes it's not using the DLSS process, it's running through the FSR frame generation method. This is what's known as the DLSS to FSR FG method. Now you can see my FPS has increased to around 170 after enabling multi-frame generation. Next, press the tilde key on your keyboard to open the DLSS Enabler mod menu. From here, turn on Adaptive Frame Generation and adjust the frame generation threshold to whatever value you prefer. Since I'm using a 144Hz monitor, I can set it to 144. But don't push it beyond your monitor's refresh rate. Going further can cause noticeable graphical artifacts and input delay. You can also enable screen space ray tracing effects to get more realistic shadow quality. Unlike full ray tracing, these effects don't cost much performance, so you don't need to worry about losing frame rate. This means you can enjoy smoother gameplay with higher FPS. But keep in mind, multi-frame generation here doesn't work exactly like official frame generation. It can still show some graphical artifacts and input delay compared to native implementations. Even so, this is truly amazing for low-end and mid-range users. It's simple to install, simple to use, and almost anyone can benefit. I really appreciate the modding community for creating mods like this, giving older graphics cards access to extra features that normally wouldn't be possible. Alright guys, that's gonna wrap it up for today. We managed to push Spider-Man 2 way beyond what the devs intended, thanks to the modding community. Multi-frame generation isn't perfect, you'll still notice a few artifacts here and there, but for anyone on low or mid-range hardware, this is a massive win. Super easy to set up, super easy to use, and it gives older cards a second life. Big shout out to the modders who make this possible and completely free. If you found this helpful, don't forget to drop a like, share it with your friends, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Hope you guys kept your receipts. Got him right here. Fighter! See? That's the thing about business deals. Nobody ever expects spiders.